Viewers, drop your city and current time down in the comments. Let's see where and when you're tuning in from. He's still riding that high from the office, the kind you can almost taste. 2 years of grinding, political knife fights in boardrooms, and sleepless nights. And he's just closed the deal, the one that cements his place at the top. Historians still argue whether corporate victories or ancient battlefield wins leave deeper scars, but today feels like he's conquered an empire. He takes the drive home slow, savoring the return to his sanctuary, a turn-of-the-century brownstone so lovingly restored it feels like an extension of him. The front door clicks open with that solid, reassuring sound. Except instead of lemon polish and quiet air, something toxic hits him, burnt sugar tangled with acrid plastic and scorched metal, like a candy shop in hell. His briefcase hits the oak floor with a dull thud as he follows the smoke, his hand brushing his phone without knowing why. The kitchen, slate countertops, stainless steel appliances gleaming like trophies, is alive with chaos. Flames spit from the open oven door, a charred husk of what used to be a cake smolders on the stove, and standing there is an older woman in a frilly floral apron and oversized oven mitts, looking like she stepped out of a 1950s sitcom. If sitcoms had arson scenes. She turns, not with fear, but with outrage, jabbing a mittened finger at him and shrieking, "What are you doing in my house?" The absurdity freezes him. This is his deed, his clothes in the closet upstairs, and yet here she is ordering him out like he's the intruder. He tries reason, but she calls him a liar, her eyes darting like she's seeing a different room entirely. Then she says it, "Someone like you." It's not shouted, it's sharpened, deliberate, and suddenly the smoke isn't the only thing choking him. The cake, she claims, was for her son's birthday, and the cheap oven ruined it. She blocks the extinguisher like a goalie guarding against salvation, accusing him of starting the fire. And then, her hand dives into her jeans pocket. A phone. His gut drops. He knows exactly how this scene will sound to whoever's on the other end. He hits record on his own phone, hands trembling, catching her 911 call as she performs Fear so convincingly it could win awards, sprinkling in the word black like a chemical that transforms the whole mixture. Sirens are coming. She knows it. He knows it. And the fire keeps eating his kitchen. The sirens swell until they're rattling the windows, and her whole demeanor shifts. She muses her hair, plants herself in the living room, perfecting a posture of trembling victimhood. The pounding at the door isn't a knock, it's an order. Before he can even answer, the frame splinters and 2 officers barrel inside, moving like they're breaching a barricade in a war zone. Their eyes skip right over her and lock onto him. Bespoke suit or not, in their heads, the call already told them who the threat was. Historians still argue whether perception or reality wins most battles, but here perception is dressed in uniform and carrying a badge. Hands up now. The command is hard and non-negotiable. He keeps the phone aloft, voice low, saying it's recording, that this is his house. She set the fire. Drop it, comes back sharper. That phone, his only proof, hits the floor, screen down. Right on cue, she sobs, thanking them, calling him a pervert. It's a masterstroke of improvisation that adds a new layer of menace to the portrait she's painting. One officer shields her, the other cuffs him tight enough to bite into skin. They sit him on his own couch while she spins her tale, 37 years in her home, baking for her son, scared for her life. He tries to redirect them to the briefcase by the door, the deed, the bills in his name. They barely look. Peters, the younger cop, finally retrieves his phone, but Galloway, the older one, stops watching the video the moment she says he's black. Proof becomes invasion of privacy. His witness becomes their evidence. Then the cavalry arrives, not for him, but for her. A tall man in a cashmere sweater, Robert, introduces himself as her son. He's all calm gravitas, apologizing for the confusion, offering to pay for damages, producing a diagnosis of early-onset dementia like it's a hall pass. The cuffs come off, but the crime's been renamed a mental health incident. She's escorted out, arm in arm with her fixer son, but not before she throws him one last look, eyes lucid and burning with a personal hatred that has nothing to do with confusion. The house is quiet after they leave, but it's not peace. It's the sound of being erased. Peters stays behind to take a statement, but it's perfunctory, and when he leaves, the words procedure hang in the air like smoke. Alone in the wreckage, he boots up his laptop, chasing the only thread that makes sense, her claim about the Prestons. And there it is, an obituary for her late husband, Harold, linking her to two sons, Robert and Arthur. Arthur, the man whose office he took over 7 months ago after Arthur was fired in disgrace. The pieces click into place with a sickening certainty. This wasn't random. It was retribution. The anger sharpens into clarity. He digs deeper into Arthur's HR file. Locked, but his clearance opens it. The Golden Boy resume unravels into a 50-page internal investigation. Embezzlement through poetic-sounding shell companies, leaking proprietary algorithms to their fiercest competitor. And tucked in the back, a psychologist's report that could double as a family blueprint. Arthur, a malignant narcissist shaped by a mother who demanded perfection, who taught him any failure was sabotage by lesser people. Suddenly, Agnes's oven-fire theatrics aren't random at all. They're an attempt to scorch away the evidence of his success, to reframe him as the criminal, the usurper. But there's a shadow in this picture, Robert. The fixer's calm apology starts looking like stagecraft when he finds a payment trail. The competitor paid a boutique consultancy called RM Solutions. Its address? Robert's estate. Historians still argue whether coincidence is just chaos in disguise. But his gut says this is orchestration. What if Robert used his volatile brother as the perfect fall guy, profited from the leak, and now uses his mother's confusion as a precision weapon? He takes it to Frank, his lawyer, who listens without blinking. Frank doesn't see a burnt kitchen. He sees organized crime with a family crest. Two official paths, take the settlement and vanish, or go to war and risk public ruin, are joined by a third. Investigate quietly, build leverage. They send a counter-agreement with a restraining order clause, hire Gene, a former FBI agent in accountant's clothing, and begin documenting everything. And then the counterpunch arrives, not in court, but as whispers at work. A protege mentions rumors that Arthur was framed, that someone who benefited might have engineered it. It's gossip with teeth, designed to rot his credibility from the inside. He doesn't flinch in the meeting, but inside, the realization is icy. Robert's not just defending turf, he's laying siege. The board is set, the pieces are moving, and this is no longer about fire damage. It's about survival in a game where the rules are written by the people trying to erase him. The nights stretch long. The house smells faintly of smoke no matter how many times it's scrubbed. Each creak is suspect, each headlight through the blinds a possibility. But alongside the fear is something stubborn, an unwillingness to be bought, to let their narrative stand. In the quiet, he can almost hear the next move coming. The tension lingers in the air like the last trace of smoke after a storm has passed, softening only at the edges. He moves through the house, slowly now, each step deliberate, like a man memorizing the safe paths across a shifting floor. Outside, the street is still, the trees swaying in a rhythm too gentle to match the currents running under his skin. Somewhere, the players in this private war are also at rest, or pretending to be, but for him the stillness is part of the game, an interval before the next note drops. He takes his time locking up, fingers brushing the edges of new steel deadbolts, pausing just long enough to feel the certainty of the click. The security cameras hum softly, their red eyes blinking in the dark, not menacing now, but watchful, patient. In the kitchen, the replacement counters gleam, untouched, waiting for the day they're more than just a reminder of loss. Upstairs, the guest room has become a place of retreat rather than exile. He sits on the edge of the bed, listening to the low hush of the neighborhood at night, a sound that almost covers the memory of boots on his porch and fists on his door. Almost. His breathing slows, each inhale a measured tide, each exhale a quiet surrender to the moment. In the dark, the walls hold their secrets, the way old houses do, but tonight he lets them keep them. There will be time for strategy, for careful steps, and quiet moves. For now, the silence can be just silence, the night just night. The world outside narrows to the slow rise and fall of his breath, and somewhere between the rhythm of his heartbeat and the soft creak of the house settling, he lets his eyes close.